The wilderness within you. Our reading for the 26th day of Lent, which is the 4th Sunday in Lent, Laetare Sunday. We have a few readings today. First from the Book of Lamentations, the first chapter, verses 1 to 2. I'm reading from the Good News translation. How lonely lies Jerusalem, once so full of people. Once honoured by the world, she is now like a widow. The noblest of cities has fallen into slavery. All night long she cries, tears run down her cheeks. Of all her former friends, not one is left to comfort her. Her allies have betrayed her, and all are against her now. From the book of the prophet Isaiah, the 49th chapter, verses 13 to 16. Again, Good News translation. The Lord will comfort his people. He will have pity on his suffering people. But the people of Jerusalem said, "The Lord has abandoned us. He has forgotten us." So the Lord answers, "Can a woman forget her own baby and not love the child she bore? Even if a mother should forget her child, I will never forget you, Jerusalem. I can never forget you. I have written your name on the palms of my hands." The Gospel of Matthew, the 24th chapter, verses 9 to 12. I'm reading from the NRSV. Then they will hand you over to be tortured, and will put you to death, and you will be hated by all nations because of my name. Then many will fall away, and they will betray one another and hate one another. And many false prophets will arise and lead many astray. And because of the increase of lawlessness, the love of many will grow cold. Another reading from the Book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verses 22 to 24. I'm reading from the NRSV. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I will hope in him. I walk back moodily from church. I hate that story about Hannah dropping off the infant Samuel at the temple, the one in the first chapter of the book of Samuel, that we always have on Mother's Day. I hate the idea of abandoning a toddler to be brought up by an old man in a great big religious building. I'm still brooding on it. You know what I really can't stand? Children being left to cry. This poisonous cry it out trend in raising children, where a toddler is left in a dark room alone, locked in, crying helplessly as a means of teaching him to sleep through the night. Or the child who is picked on by the adults to whom God entrusted him, humiliated and punished, harassed and frightened. It's like an epidemic of heart disease, soul sickness, as though compassion has rotted and mercy has died. Abandonment, betrayal, these are so terrible to experience. They drive us out into a wilderness where we can see no mercy, no hope. They create some of the most arid, lonely conditions in all the earth. Jesus listens to these words, spurting out of so deep a place in my soul, his face grave and still. I don't need him to speak, to agree or comfort, because I know that he knows all about abandonment and betrayal. The kiss of Judas. I think of that deathly kiss, its falsity striking like hard frost, burning and desiccating, cauterizing the living tissue of the human heart. Abandonment and betrayal wither our courage, stop our joy. With a steadfast companion, a pilgrim can meet adversity dauntlessly. Abandoned and betrayed, hope withers and grows sere. I think of a man who worked hard to support his family, never imagining the wife he trusted to care for his home and children was having an affair with his best friend. I think of the politicians who promised so much before the elections to protect the earth, to care for the sick, to lift children out of poverty. And I look at their hard eyes and fleshy faces in the seat of power, rewarding the rich and abandoning the poor like a used rag. I think of little girls raped and trafficked, and my heart breaks for their trampled innocence. Jesus, I say, Jesus, why is the world like this? Oh, what can we do? How can we heal it? However can we even start to put right such a spreading cold of indifference? He nods, understanding. Jesus will not offer me glib answers or slick solutions. He feels the swelling of my sorrow into this silence. The only way I know, he says after a while, is to go. Go yourself. What you cannot stop, you can at least share. And if you share in somebody's abandonment, then they are no longer alone. If you stand with someone who has been betrayed, you restore faithfulness to their lives. What? This appalls me. You are joking. Me? What can I do? I can't stop sex trafficking and child abuse and divorce. I mean, look, I'm divorced myself. Where did I get it right? I'm not cut out for politics, and I haven't got the money to free slaves. I glare at him. He meets my gaze steadily. Well, I admit, after a moment, I guess I can buy fair-traded groceries and high welfare meat and free-range woodland eggs. I guess I can manage a small donation at least for the street children. I suppose I can take the trouble to visit my mother, so that as she grows old and sees the friends of a lifetime dying one by one, she doesn't feel too unbearably lonely. I could write a letter to a prisoner. I could sign my name to a petition against human trafficking. Things like that I could manage. The little things. And this makes Jesus smile.